The Omaha North alum keeps faith in his game and in God. At 22 years old, Coleman is an ordained minister at Cornerstone Deliverance. Representatives for the Malcolm X Foundation, Gender and Sexual Orientation, and Beta Sigma Delta all say the university could do so much more to bring people together. While full-time professors can make an $80,000 salary, adjunct professors make between $2,000 and $5,000 per course, leaving part-timers at a medical and financial disadvantage. Even with over a dozen student-specific organizations, some UNO students feel their campus isn't diverse enough.
The identities on campus are heavily segregated.
Student government's only presidential candidate, Brock Lewis, hopes to do things to change this perception.
Like highlighting more of our events that are outside of the normal that we usually typically recognize, to show the small organizations or like multicultural organizations. I'd like to see those get highlighted more within the university and actually show what type of students we have on campus.
Although Lewis claims he wants to highlight events outside of the normal, some organizations feel distant.
He knows nothing of anything, in my opinion, that has to do with diversifying this campus.
Representatives for the Malcolm X Foundation, Gender and Sexual Orientation, and Beta Sigma Delta all say the university could do so much more to bring people together.
There needs to be an aggressive reach to the community. You know, we have this huge community engagement center.
Student government, gender and sexual orientation, and other organizations are in the same space, yet lack communication.
He already had the time to do it, but he hasn't done it. I have no idea who he is, and he says he's reached out to people. He hasn't reached out to me, and I'm like the director of this agency.
For any information regarding diversity on UNO's campus, contact the Office of Equity, Access, and Diversity at 402-554-3490. Thanks, Ben. Back to you. About half of the instructors at UNO teach your students but have no benefits.
Once the summer is over, I will no longer have health benefits again.
Dr. Larry Bradley and other adjunct professors are working together toward better conditions for the part-timers.
UNO stands for the University of No.
No better pay, no benefits is what most adjuncts hear.
I'm in a unique situation where this one semester I happen to be getting benefits.
But after being released from one class, she'll be back in the same position as half of her colleagues.
But because it's only for one semester, at the end of the semester I'll lose my benefits again.
While full-time professors can make an $80,000 salary, adjunct professors make between $2,000 and $5,000 per course, leaving part-timers at a medical and financial disadvantage.
There was a person who been teaching a 3-credit-hour course for about 9 years, and they've never gotten a raise.
Dr. Bradley and his colleagues are working to not have the same fate.
They've been flat-lined at the same amount. Meanwhile, minimum wage has gone up.
And with the help of organizations outside of Nebraska, like SEIU, Dr. Bradley's union might change things.
This issue, this movement is growing.
Talk of unionization has stirred at both UNK and UNL.
People are getting fed up with these issues just about everywhere.
And some adjuncts without benefits understand its importance.
Because it's nice to have health benefits, frankly. It's the first time I have for a very long time.
For the Omaha News, I'm Eugene Tyler. Former Metro Wrestling star Ron Coleman has one objective.
Stay humble and stay hungry.
In hopes to reach the NFL, Coleman has to stay focused during this training.
My pro day is March 25th in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
As a Southeast Missouri grad prepares for his day, he keeps one thing in mind.
I go into it salty, like I gotta feed my family, and that's my motivation every single day is I gotta feed my family.
With a lot of work to do, Ron isn't alone.
He's the best young man I've ever met on 2 feet. Good, good, good.
Coach Steve Hilding has been there from the beginning and is still impressed.
Incredible, incredible. 4 state titles in wrestling, 4 All-Americans in football, best athlete 2 years in a row.
The Omaha North alum keeps faith in his game and in God. At 22 years old, Coleman is an ordained minister at Cornerstone Deliverance.
Training with God, that's my status. A lot of people are like, why you always put training with God?
3 plates? All right.
Because every day is a training day. Humble yourself before the Lord, and he shall lift you up, James 4:10. And this one that says, stay hungry. Man shall not live by bread alone, by every word of God, Matthew 4:4.
Ron has had the strength to win 4 state wrestling championships, but it's time for the next level.
God blesses this young man every day.
I do have downfalls, but I'm gonna overcome those downfalls and I'm gonna keep going.
As Coleman prepares for his March 25th Pro Day, he will continue to work with Coach Hilding and for Eden Kegger, soul music is a passion she shares weekly with the locals.
It's nice to have the music that actually has a soul.
She and pianist Leeward Milliner perform weekly throughout the city together.
Soul is in my blood.
Kegger and Milliner perform soulful music weekly in hopes to keep Omaha's musical roots intact. With influences like Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, and Omaha's own Preston Love, the duo hopes to reach people with the types of music that founded Omaha's music scene.
You get a chance to really feel the music and feel that person and feel something beyond yourself.
With the advancement of technology and budget cuts for school music departments, many people just aren't learning how to play instruments. LeWade Milliner, or Big Wade as locals call him, is focused on pushing the culture further.
It's a dying art form as far as just with technology, man. Now you can produce music and stuff without knowing how to play an instrument.
Kegger says the music of today is inspired by the past.
It's almost like the heartbeat and the backbone of what is today. I mean, especially when you look at like blues and jazz and whatnot. I mean, so many things stemmed from that to make what we have now.
For the Omaha News, I'm Eugene Tyler. I'm Eugene Tyler. We will also be taking a look at the difference between organic foods and conventional food. Officers responded to a stabbing last night at 26 and Fort in a group home. 20-year-old Dusty Knight was stabbed in the chest by 22-year-old Russell Smithson, who surrendered to the officers shortly after their arrival. Smithson was booked for a felony and use of a weapon to commit a felony. Knight was transported to Creighton Medical Center in critical condition, but his injuries are not considered life-threatening. Both men were residents of the group home. Spending a day out in the park is a common sight for families when the weather warms up in Omaha. Adam Preister tells us for families with handicapped children, traditional playground equipment does not allow them to participate as they might like. The All-Play Complex at Seymour Smith Park will open for the first time this spring season. More than 2,000 international students attend UNO every year, but 80% of them come here not prepared to understand the specialized English that is used in the classroom. Benjamin Hausch tells us about the English program that gets those students ready and the challenges that teachers face. Teaching students from various cultures can be challenging, but getting to know the students is the best way to understand students' strengths and weaknesses. Coming up, a UNO basketball player suffering from PTSD helps to inspire and help others suffering from the illness. Thanks, Ben. Even with over a dozen multicultural organizations at UNO, some students feel the university could do so much more to bring people together. For any information regarding diversity on UNO's campus, contact the Office of Equity, Access, and Diversity at 402-554-3490. Thanks, Ben. Back to you.